Merry Cagemas, everyone, and welcome to Smash Fiction, the podcast where for one episode of the year we allow our bizarre and, most likely, unrequited love for the weirdness of Nicolas Cage go completely unfettered, for better or for worse. You guessed it, it's four supernatural Nicolas Cages against each other. Balthazar Blake versus Ghost Rider versus John Milton versus Peter Loew. Welcome to the UFC, the ultimate fighting cage. Here on ESPN 8, the Ocho, because if it's almost a sport, we've got it here. We're your hosts, Cotton McKnight and my partner in crime, Pepper Brooks. We're just about to kick off our second annual cage match titled Cage Reloaded, back with the Cajuns, here on our new network. Yeah, and it's better than ever, Cotton. Right you are, Pepper. We're not bringing you an average cage match, we're bringing you a supernatural cage match. Oh man, what a bold strategy, Cotton. And because of the supernaturalness, we have several special guests here to oversee a clean fight. Oh, I love this part, Cotton. Okay, Pepper, shut up. Our referees for the match are Rita Repulsa. More like Rita Repulsa. Oh wait, never mind. Pepper, that was awful. And Gandalf the Grey. Cotton. What, Pepper? My bed called Gandalf. For what? To get its blankets back? Oh my god, Pepper, this is so bad, shut up. And, should things get out of hand, the mutant rogue is here. Oh my god, Cotton. She's a total sap for a good fight. Moving on, let's introduce our competitors this year. In the yellow corner is John Milton, represented by Miles Schneiderman!
We was fucking. He pinned him while we was fucking.
In the orange corner is Ghost Rider, represented by Dan Mulcairn!
Merry Cagemas, you assholes.
In the red corner is Peter Loew, represented by Kit Mulcairn!
I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
I like the running away, that was great.
Yeah, she literally took off her headphones and ran away. That was not a Dolby effect.
And finally, in the green corner is Balthazar Blake, represented by Megan Bob!
Keep it subtle. Civilians mustn't know bullshit exists. That would be complicated.
Which supernatural cage will win the cage while fighting in a cage? Well, as the weirdest person most stylistically like Nicolas Cage in this group, I, Liz Logan, am your most cageified judge. To determine which cage goes first, each contestant had to place pictures of Nicolas Cage around my house in order to get the best reaction out of me. Kit put a pic of Cage on the front of my motorcycle, which did not cause me to leave inexplicable trails of fire in my wake, but did cause me to have the urge to buy chains from Hot Topic, so that's kind of disappointing. Megan Bob put a Cage face pillowcase on my pillow, which didn't scare me as much as I probably would have liked it to. Dan put a pic of Cage in my toilet, which, while I expected him to be there, I thought it was pretty funny still. However, Miles put Cage on my TV, which really confused me when I was watching Face Off. So, Miles is gonna go first. Dan is gonna go next, then Megan Bob, and finally, Kit. Commence the cage! Ah!
The film Drive Angry opens with its main protagonist, John Milton, escaping from hell. Kind of. I mean, we see hell, we see what looks like a bridge leading away from hell, and we see a muscle car driving down the bridge. How did Milton escape? What demonic obstacles did he overcome? What did that muscle car do that was so terrible its mechanical soul had to be damned for all eternity? The only answer to these questions comes in the form of an accompanying voiceover which states that, quote, "It doesn't matter if you're a badass motherfucker on the run, because you think you're better than everyone else and somehow entitled to do what you gotta do. No, because you see, badass motherfuckers are never fast enough." So, Drive Angry opens with empirical proof that John Milton is a badass motherfucker, that he is better than everyone else, and that he is entitled to do what he gotta do. And in this case, what he gotta do is end the pitiful existences of these 3 false supernatural cages, preferably using a 3-shot ultimate weapon called the Iron God Killer. There's no coming back after the God Killer gets you. No heaven, no hell, just an incredibly stupid, but so stupid it's kind of beautiful, low-budget CGI explosion, followed by nothingness. By the way, Milton stole the God Killer too on his way out of hell, when the accountant, a dude who is basically Satan's right-hand man, and who openly admits he's rarely curious about anything, asks how Milton managed such an unbelievable feat as to steal the God Killer. Milton replies, "I just walked in and took it." Again, are you seeing the badass motherfuckerness of all this? The badass motherfuckitude? The badass motherfuckerdom. This guy walked into the devil's master bedroom, took the ultimate weapon off its probably Confederate flag-bedecked gun rack, walked out, got into his murderous, adulterous, neighbor's sheep-coveting muscle car, and drove the fuck out of hell. And for John Milton, that shit was so easy, it happened off-screen. That shit would have constituted the entire plot of Ghost Rider 3. Drive pretty fast for a motorcycle, but with some considerable rage management issues. But for Milton, it's fucking set dressing. You want a bad motherfucker? Motherfucker, there is a deleted scene from Pulp Fiction where Sam Jackson's character pulls out another wallet that just has a picture of John Milton's face on it. Trust me, that's actually true. That happened. Now, before any of you go all his love for his daughter and concern for his grandchild was the only thing that could motivate him enough to escape hell on me, let me remind you that at the end of Drive Angry, when the bad guy is dead, the baby is saved, and Milton is getting ready to go back to hell having completed this quest, he straight up says that he will leave again whenever the fuck he wants to, for whatever reason he wants to, and he and the accountant both seem pretty damn clear on the fact that he could totally do it. Milton isn't some Balthazar Blake type who's all about romance and loyalty and sentiment. He was a cold-blooded son of a bitch before he died and went to hell. Now, he's an undead stone-cold Steve Austin who promises to drink beer out of his enemy's skull and then actually does it. The only reason he needs to make mincemeat out of an annoying little prick like Peter Loew is that the little prick happens to be annoying. And while he could probably do it with his bare hands if he wanted to, why bother when you have gunpowder that smells like sulfur and lead laced with brimstone? Milton might not have his literally thrice-damned muscle car in this match, but you can bet he'll be packing some heat. He spends basically the entirety of Drive Angry shooting kneecaps, blowing off hands, and, let's not forget, winning a gunfight in which he's thoroughly outnumbered while having sex. Loew will be the first to go, being, an ordinary crazy person. He's less of a threat than Amber Heard's ex-fiancé, by which I mean her character's ex-fiancé and not actually Johnny Depp, although Peter Loew is in fact less of a threat than actual Johnny Depp.
Oh, so true.
Balthazar is next. As mentioned, Milton has experience shooting off people's hands, and Blake's ring hand is no exception. Finally, Ghost Rider presents a challenge, but his vaunted penance stare is no match for Milton's badass motherfucker sunglasses. And just like that, Mephistopheles needs a new bounty hunter. Hell, maybe Milton can take the job. Having his muscle car covered in flames, like the unrepentant sinner that it is, can only add to his aesthetic. John Milton. Poet. Polemisist. Civil servant, badass motherfucker. The history books don't get everything right, but what it will get right is Milton's victory in this cage match by pinfall. If by pinfall you mean shots with the Iron God Killer. They have the same cadence at least. 1, 2, 3.
That's a very impressive resume. Thank you. Dan, cage it.
I'm Cajun, and I'm doing my opener in the style of the Honorable Judge Liz Logan. So,
Oh, God.
supple black leather from head to toe. A smile that turns everyone's heads. Dark, soulful eyes. A redhead unlike any other. Who am I talking about? Why, Johnny Blaze, of course. The ever-loving, no-eyed Ghost Rider. The cage so nice, he played it twice. Even without decades of comic book continuity behind him, Ghost Rider is more than a match for the other widow's-peaked, scenery-chewing combatants here today. First of all, none of these guys can put out nearly enough punishment for Ghost Rider to even notice. An assassin demon drives a fully loaded 18-wheeler into him, pinning him to a wall, and Ghost Rider immediately comes back extremely pissed off and cuts said demon in half with a chain and burns him to cinders. An entire police squadron and SWAT team unloads heavy weaponry into him, and he just patiently waits for them to run out of ammo before he blinds them all with a wall of fire and rides away. He takes multiple hits from bunker buster missiles. You know, the ones that are designed to destroy reinforced concrete bunkers, and just gets pissed off. Nothing in Balthazar's bag of tricks, no fancy guns from Milton, and no random planks of wood from Peter Loew will even slow down the spirit of vengeance. So he can soak up tons of damage, but he can dish out even more. Ghost Rider is strong enough to accidentally leave his fingerprints in the steel bumper of a truck. He grabs a helicopter with his chain and effortlessly pulls it close to him before he flings it away, despite the fact that the helicopter is fighting him uselessly the whole time. The mere act of Ghost Rider traveling somewhere causes more collateral damage than the quickening in Highlander. In Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider just swings his chain in a circle a couple of times and instantly reduces about 20 cultists to ash. And I will point out that the length of his supernatural chain easily covers the radius of a wrestling ring. So all he really needs to do is start swinging that chain and his enemies are suddenly stains on the mat. And I haven't even gotten to his freaking penance stare. All Ghost Rider needs to do is make eye contact with any of these guys and their insides are going to burn to charcoal. John Milton's lived a bad enough life that he ended up in hell. All those sins he committed are going to catch up to him in a big, bad, fatal way. And do you think that Peter Loew can survive experiencing all the shit he put Alva through, or feeling the death of the woman whose throat he tore out with his fake-ass vampire teeth? And are you going to tell me that in Balthazar Blake's hundreds of years battling the forces of darkness, he hasn't crossed a line or two at some point, or hurt someone who didn't totally deserve it, even if only accidentally? None of these guys are going into the ring with a clean conscience, and a checkered past is all the fuel Ghost Rider needs to burn them to ash. Okay, so he's easily the strongest combatant here by a gigantic margin. But wait, what about the support of the all-important crowd? Well, turns out I saved his best power for last. See, in the Ghost Rider movie, he puts on an otherwise normal jacket, and he makes spikes grow out of it. In short, he possesses the power to instantly make himself metal as shit. And if you don't think that that's important in a pro wrestling match, you've never watched pro wrestling.
The technical term is metal as fuck.
Well, okay, so I did some research on the best pro wrestling outfits. There's an article on the internet titled The 8 Best and 7 Worst Entrance Outfits in Wrestling History by a, hang on, let me make sure I get this right, a Miles Schneiderman?
I appreciate the free plug.
Anyway, among some of the best listed outfits are Mortis, who is covered in skulls. There's Triple H, whose outfit in this particular list features a definite skull theme. Oh yeah, and the Road Warriors, who wear black leather, shoulder spikes, and have skull masks. The best pro wrestling outfits, according to whoever this Miles guy is, all have a certain theme to them.
Where's your fucking Mastodon helmet?
Where
is it?
Where's yours?
Where is your Mastodon helmet?
They're all trying to be Ghost Rider. Think about it. Ghost Rider is a comic book character who's a daredevil stunt biker. You know what we call the overlap in the Venn diagram between comic fans and Daredevil stunt show fans? It's pro wrestling fans. The entire crowd is gonna start on Ghost Rider's side and stay there. One last thing I want to point out, this is a cage match. The goal is to escape the cage first. Out of all the characters here, only one of them has experience escaping cages. Ghost Rider, in the first Ghost Rider movie, ends up in a jail cell with a bunch of other punks who think they can take him. Seconds later, they're all lying unconscious on the ground, and he just walks straight out. Watch and learn, kids, because that big flaming wheel is coming around again.
I left. There was another skull-themed one that I ended up leaving off, too.
Wow.
And that was a low blow, but I love the shit out of it.
Oh, good.
All right. That was pretty good. Mega Bob, you are next. Cage it away.
The film starts in 740 AD and ends in 2010. So Balthazar Blake's been in this same damn body for at least 1,270 years. And during that time, he's been fighting and caging evil sorcerers and traveling the entire damn world trying to find the Prime Millennium. He's got over a millennium of fighting experience and has spent it honing his work by taking out other evildoers, like Son Luck, a guy that makes a dragon come out of his guts. Abigail Williams, a Satan child. Maxim Horvath, who is badass Alfred Molina in a sweet hat. None of the other contestants can boast anywhere close to a year of practice in their craft. The mental fortitude of living through that many years is damn impressive, and all this time he's been completely focused on finding the damn Merlinian kid. He's stuck to his job for over 1,000 freaking years. You think a guy like that won't see a fight through to the finish? Dude, he is in it to win it. In battle, he's fearless and ready at a moment's notice. Horvath appeared from Dave's screw-up with the Grimhold, and Balthazar immediately slammed Horvath into the ceiling, like with telekinetic powers, fought him with blades, and then leapt through a fire to take him out. His throwing people against walls power is going to come in handy against any of the opponents. In Chinatown, he turns a falling ladder into confetti, so dangerous objects can be transformed into safe silliness with a wave of his hand. A key point to remember is that unlike many of the other contenders, his weapons can't really be taken away from him. He is the weapon. So Milton's got an awesome gun. Bam! Balthazar's going to turn that thing into a hilarious light-up dildo. Johnny Blaze has chains. Balthazar's gonna turn it into some ribbons for some dope-ass ribbon dancing. Loew has a couch coffin. Balthazar is gonna turn it into a teddy bear because Loew really needs the emotional support. He is not afraid of risks, and he doesn't ever panic. As with the Persian quick rug or falling into the mirror dimension, he assesses the situation and makes use of what he's got going on. Sometimes that means telekinetically magicking an escape from dangerous rugs using chains. And other times that means perfectly timing the moment you slam your car through a falling piece of glass. The only people who can do that sort of stuff are the people who've seen it all and can make solid decisions that take advantage of what they have to hand. Balthazar is a guy that makes his own luck, and then probably has like an entire deck of aces up either sleeve on top of that. Also, there was the moment when he stopped time, so Dave wouldn't fall into the water and be electrocuted. I'm just saying, skills. Did I mention he's a master of disguise? He disguises himself and Dave as New York City cops, and it's flawless. I actually had to rewind just to be sure that it was actually Balthazar. That's how deep the deception goes. And I could shapeshift to any of the love interests of any of the other characters. Will that be weird in the bedroom? Yes, it might be. Or it might be the hottest Cage on Cage action we've ever seen.
Oh, so tempting.
Now, he can change and manipulate matter. Whether that means turning wolves into puppies, making a gelatinous force field around Horvath, making a metal fucking eagle spring to life and fly him places. He can fling plasma bolts and create fire vacuums to contain energy. The movie doesn't show a single kind of matter that he can't manipulate, whether it's living or inorganic, whether it's stopping energy or starting up some seriously dangerous energy. Also, at the end of the movie, did you notice that he's even got a portable portal maker that he uses in the final battle to pop through reality like it doesn't exist? He's got telekinetic powers. He's able to easily catch a pigeon with his bare hands. Cough, Peter. Sorry, I was supposed to say, I should have actually, I said the word cough. That was because I'm an idiot. Okay. All right. And he can inspire Jay Baruchel to be the man he always knew he could be. And really, that's the highest thing any of us can aspire to do.
Yeah, so Kit, go for it.
I was watching these movies in the past week. Really bad, you know. And I'm on the couch and this bat comes swooping down out of nowhere. Holy shit. But this really happened. But the part, I don't know if this really happened or I dreamt it later on. I'm fighting this bat off all alone, and I'll be damned if I didn't get really turned on. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this match. I had a difficult time this past week. I had to watch 5 Nicolas Cage movies. And they're all like magic and shit. One guy's, he's a ghost that pees fire or something. Another does magic tricks with the kid from How to Train Your Dragon. And then there's I don't know, I blacked out from punching myself in the head over and over again. But you know, none of that matters. None of them matter. Because I mean, my Cage character is a vampire. An immortal being. Just like the other Cages here. Yep. Not 24 hours after being given the gift and curse of vampirism, Peter Loew begins to feel the anguish of the change. And immediately, a concerned bystander comes to his aid, like a servant. Already, Peter's vampiric psychic power is manifesting. Don't believe me? This happens twice. Am I supposed to believe that if a man walking down the street in New York City shows any sign of distress, that someone immediately comes to their aid, as if they were being poorly directed in some crap movie? Well, they are being directed by Vampire. When the other cages come for him, an army of concerned bystanders will come to his aid. You may have hell weapons and magic missile ripoffs, but I, Peter, will have waves upon waves of minions. And besides that, none will see him coming. He's so eccentric. Yeah, that's what they say. I hear him. But you know, that eccentricity, that's what's gonna win this. Well, that and the minions. You can't forget your followers, right? But you're not gonna see him coming. Fire ghosts, magicians, dead southerners! Garbage. Predictable garbage. I've been in the literary business a long time, and I can tell you people are done with that shit because they see it coming miles away! While the three of them are busy jerking each other off with their magic, Peter's gonna give it to him, like he gave it to that pigeon and the woman in the nightclub, by right through their necks, when what they were expecting was another bullet or a plasma bolt. But I know what you're thinking. I can hear your thoughts. All you have to do is turn on him and Peter's through. Shut up, bitch. He can get shot in the mouth and not take a lick of damage. So fuck your god killer and your baby Hadokens. And even if those were blanks, even if that was true, firing a blank into your mouth would send bone fragments into your brain and fucking kill you. So boom. Vampire. Am I getting through to you, Judge?
Whoa, okay, cool it. And now we're going to move on to rebuttals. Everyone cage up on Miles. Place your cages.
So, Miles, I'm very entertained by your suggestion that the God Killer could do anything to Ghost Rider. First of all, I mean, we see that the accountant is able to dodge the bullet fired by the God Killer, and we see in Spirit of Vengeance that Ghost Rider can move faster than the eye can follow. So, like, if you even manage to get a bead on him, that'll be a miracle in and of itself. But, like, okay, the God Killer is the weapon of Satan, and from the shots we see it fire, it seems to be powered by hellfire. You're gonna try to kill Ghost Rider with hellfire? Do you know what Ghost Rider is made of? Do you see what happens when he gets exposed to hellfire in Spirit of Vengeance? Like, all you're gonna do is make him stronger.
It's called the God Killer. It fires God killings.
Sorry.
Right, but what? But via what medium?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Because it's hellfire. I'll tell you that right
it's
now.
It's not hellfire. You're making a specious assumption on that. You're right that the accountant barely manages to dodge it, but the accountant is like, again, the right hand of Satan. We see this guy throughout the movie do a whole bunch of fucked up shit that is, I think enough to assume, given his position, his role in the film, that he is a higher supernatural entity than Ghost Rider, and he gets grazed on the cheek, and this big-ass scar gets left on his face. So, Milton will be able to target Ghost Rider, and because what the God Killer is powered with is not relevant, what it actually does is whatever it hits, it destroys your soul, so you don't get to go to heaven or hell. That's not hellfire. That's a weapon that kills deities.
So, as the name of the film tells us, like, his superpowers are car driving and angrily-ness. But the rest of the time, he really spends a lot of time getting captured and injured and nearly getting killed a lot. Like, there are so many scenes in that movie where if Amber Heard hadn't been there to save his ass, he would have been dead. And even in that church scene, whenever there's all the cult goons that are being weird, like, he gets shot and kind of like, I mean, he doesn't really die, but he halfway dies, which is enough time to get away from him. Or to, like, finish him off, whatever you need to do.
Okay, first of all, that happens once. That doesn't happen several times.
Okay, but by normal humans. They're not special.
If you want to say that somewhere in the vicinity of this cage, you will have a large building that you can lure him into where there will be like 20 of your friends. Unless you're Kit, you can't really say that. Because Kit's the only one here with minions. And even then, Kit's minions, I think, are inherently inferior to the swamp cult hillbillies that we see in Drive Angry.
I mean, I don't know if you watched the film, but I have access to
did.
mops. And you don't want to get between, like an angry mop. And
You actually don't really have access to
I'll
them.
find some.
You
The
have...
janitor's always got something to mop up the blood. There's got to be something around backstage.
The point is that he does get shot through the head and stands up and is not dead, which is more than your character can say, Bob.
Shoot me. Shoot me, damn it!
Okay.
Oh no. It's like you just can't
I'm a
look away.
vampire.
You just can't look away.
I'm one of them.
What have we done?
All right, tear apart Dan. I know y'all want to.
For the sake of Ghost Rider, I mean, he doesn't have a chance anyway, but for him to even, like, have a shot at winning this, I hope this shit does not take place, like, during the daytime, because we see in the first film that as soon as dawn breaks and he doesn't have any more shadows to hide in, he loses all his powers. So if it's that easy to have his little fiery glow aura go away, I don't see what he's going to do in this match.
Yeah, it was that easy at the end of the first movie, but by the end of the second movie, he no longer has that weakness. I mean, the entire final fight scene in Spirit of Vengeance takes place in the bright morning sunlight, so yeah, like, install a sunroof in this stadium, bring on the sun, it'll just let everyone else see you get burned alive.
No, son, no.
So, like, he gets taken out by the rocket launcher, so I don't think he's quite as powerful as you're making out, but also you talked a lot about the chain things. What about those chains is not manipulatable by Balthazar Blake? Like, he does manipulate chains in the movie, and he does manipulate, like, all kinds of matter. I don't see why these would be different. They are matter.
So the part you were talking about where he gets knocked out by the rockets, he gets hit by multiple grenades at the beginning of Spirit of Vengeance and gets knocked out. That takes place at the beginning of the movie, and there has been several of years between the end of the first movie and the beginning of the second movie where he hasn't transformed into Ghost Rider, he hasn't been doing anything, and he's like visibly out of practice. And then in like the next scene, he gets hit by multiple missiles and just keeps on coming, and also like, heavy assault machinery and stuff. And then by the end of the movie, he's stronger than he's ever been. So like, he only gets stronger.
So you're saying I wouldn't be hurt by grenades if I only practiced enough?
Yeah, if you had Zarathos, the vengeance spirit inside of you, yes. I will admit, I think that Balthazar could potentially momentarily distract or slow down Ghost Rider's attacks by, say, turning his chains into, ribbons or whatever you want, like a feather boa, which, would only complement Ghost Rider's appearance, if you ask me. But the point of the matter is, like, Balthazar Blake, his whole magic is entirely dependent upon him having a ring, which is entirely dependent upon him having a hand or an arm, which are all things that Ghost Rider can very easily change. So, like, there is nothing you can do to Ghost Rider that will remove his power from him. His power comes from within. But there's a lot I can do to Balthazar Blake that makes him neither a sorcerer nor an apprentice.
Ghost Rider? You're real too? I love your comics, man. Can I get an autograph?
Sure, just let me look you in the eyes real quick.
Okay. I want to take off my sunglasses.
You shall feel the pain you inflicted upon that pigeon!
And next, let's tear apart Mega Bob.
Delicious.
Okay, so I have to admit, it's really hard for me to take Balthazar Blake seriously when the most dangerous enemy he encounters is a freaking carpet. Like, he himself admits how obvious and old-fashioned that trap is, but not only does he still fall for it, it takes him the whole freaking scene, and he just barely manages to get out, finally noticing and deciding to use the super obvious chains hanging in the room.
Yeah, but he wasn't worried about it. He wasn't going, oh god, oh no, I'm gonna die. He was like, this is fucking old. I'm tired of this shit. And so he just sort of was like, well, I'll try this. Fuck, that didn't work. I'll do this other thing. Oh, that worked. Okay. He's a chill dude. He's not that bothered by stuff.
I don't know, man. Unless you insult his shoes or have the audacity to want to date somebody.
I mean,
Balthazar Blake, he puts on this, like, big tough guy front, but he's, like, highly emotional, he's insecure, he puts all his shit onto other people. I just don't think he has, like, the mental fortitude to compete in a match like this. He's too soft. He's too, warm and fuzzy on the inside. I just don't see him having the killer instinct necessary to pull this one off, even if he does keep his hand, which, as I mentioned, I can blow off with my gun.
Okay. I mean, I can see why you would think that. He's been alive for a really, 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 really long time. I think he's kind of dead inside. I mean, he's alive inside, but also dead inside. So I think unless one of you can somehow bring Monica Bellucci into the ring and then threaten her, or unless you can say, here's Dave, and Dave says he doesn't think you're his father figure anymore, I don't think he's going to notice or care.
By the end of that movie, until he's revived, he's certainly dead on the outside.
Well, but that was temporary. He survived it. He came back. I mean, your character's dead on the outside, too. Like, let's not throw dead stones here, Miles.
People in dead houses should throw
Yeah,
dead
exactly,
stones.
Miles. Also, Peter's here. Stop being rude.
Oh my god.
It's okay, Balthazar. It's okay. I'm fine. Thank you, man.
Oh, you're welcome, baby.
Hey, you're really old, right?
So old.
Have you ever met a Nosferatu?
I dated one once. It did not work out.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Okay, great.
Go in the front.
My God.
This is so painful. In the most Cage way.
What,
All right, and last, I don't know if this is even possible, but
I don't know if it's fair.
try to get under Kit's skin.
Oh, okay. I mean, honestly, I think Balthazar just wants to help. Obviously, you need it. And I think he just wants to be there for you. Like, whether that is if you need a la, being restrained so that way you feel cozy and safe and secure. Or if it is, I don't know, a ride on a metal eagle to someplace safer. Whatever you need. I think Balthazar wants to take you out of the fight, but in a humane and safe and secure way.
No, kill me. Me, vampire. Vampire, you idiot. Nosferatu.
Oh, well then plasma bolt, I guess. Sorry. Apologies.
I mean, it almost feels like a waste of a rebuttal point at this point, but not a vampire.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Fuck you too, sister.
Just a crazy person who's crazy and has plastic fangs.
I mean, my guess is that Peter spends the whole match having an intense conversation with the ring's turnbuckle, thinking that it's his therapist.
God damn it, what did I just say?
I think we should just set fire to the podcast now and move away.
And now, it's the Cagening round! Cue sound effect. After an intense battle, replete with yelling and eye-bulging, Kit, the supernaturalness of the four cages is beginning to coalesce into a magical whirlwind, which begins to turn into a black hole bigger than if you were to marathon every single Nicolas Cage movie back to back, a black hole bigger than the hole that would form in your brain after said marathon, a black hole where reality seems better than escapism through anything Nicolas Cage has done. Anyways, this black hole becomes a path through time for the supernatural cages. Suddenly, the cages are deposited onto a platform with a lot of red, white, blue, and green? Why is everyone holding up signs? Why are there 4 podiums? Hold on, wait, is this a stage? Why is this smartly dressed silver-haired man wearing a name tag saying Andy Cooperson staring at us like we're about to start something? Well, unfortunately, this time warp has deposited the cages onto the debate platform for the next president of the United Countries of Earth?
Oh my god.
The year is 2090, and the cages have been time warped into the fortunate or unfortunate position of being the candidate for the next president of Earth.
Which is definitively not an election year.
Things have changed. Well, candidates,
One can only fucking hope.
please tell me who your vice presidential running mate is, your campaign slogan, and what you will do to help the people of Earth as president. What enemies or threats will you be taking down? What awesome cagey programs will you be introducing? And please, since this is a debate, feel free to knock your opponent's plans. I'm your moderator, Andy Cooperson. Let's hear what the candidates have to say, beginning with Peter Loew, the vampire.
Hello, thank you. My running mate will be Vlad Dracul. Motions to air next to him. He's been in the business a long time. Very experienced. I trust him. Trust him with my death. The slogan, Low, Nosferatu for you. And it translates great in Spanish because it's just Low, Nosferatu.
God.
And we're gonna fix a lot of stuff. We're gonna eliminate windows. Windows are environmentally unfriendly. They do an awful job of holding in heat. In New York, a lot of electricity is spent trying to keep buildings warm, trying to keep coffins warm. We're also gonna need to employ daylight curfew, so only coming out at night. I mean, nighttime's when everyone has fun, right? Who doesn't want to come out at night? And it's time to eliminate churches. I mean, but just we gotta get rid of this church and state shit. So we're just gonna close down all the churches. None of those fucking bells anymore. Thank you.
He's got
The
my
first
vote.
and only blood party candidate.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe and Dracul. Let's move on. Balthazar Blake, what do you have to say?
Hi, I'd like to introduce my vice presidential running mate. It is the frozen head of Bill Nye. Because, with enough magic, he'll still have a conversation with me. And magic and science are very interrelated. And I do not want to lose that link to, magic and science because it's all physics. And the slogan is going to be a magical future today and every day. And then one of the biggest programs I'm really interested in, I'm prepared to spend the entire EPA budget on this, is bringing back unicorns from extinction. It was a sorrowful thing that the Anthropocene lost unicorns, and I will not have it stand. They need to be back in our parks. I want to see a unicorn going through your trash bin. I want to see unicorns goring school children accidentally sometime. And then also, it's a very big program for me is eradicating wasteful clothing practices. I do not like people having disposable clothing. I think your clothes should be crafted to last for many, many, many years beyond when you are supposed to die if you're a normal human being. Also, rights for matter. I believe rights for matter. Matter rights, matter. Yeah, statues should get to be alive. And if they want to be, I feel that that's their right. If an eagle statue wants to be able to fly, if the heads on Mount Rushmore are fucking sick of being there, they shouldn't have to be. They should get to go do other stuff. Maybe Teddy Roosevelt's got to go see Africa again. Who knows? Anyway, that's the end of my pitch. Thank you.
Well, I was up with you till the unicorns, but we'll just forget about that. Next up is Mr. Ghostwriter. Oh, I think you're catching your podium on fire.
No, that's intentional.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
My fellow Americans, many of you have called upon my lack of political experience as some sort of a hindrance for me. So I would like to introduce my vice presidential candidate, Mr. Carter Slade. He was the original ghostwriter, the one that rode on a skeleton horse. He taught me everything I know. He's a wise man, and he's also played by Sam Neill, which I feel like will play very well in the red states.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Sam Neill's the guy from Jurassic Park.
Fucking
I'm so
God.
sorry. Ever since I sold my soul to the devil, I haven't been to the movies. So I'm just going by what I hear all the Twitters say. Now, of course, we've all heard my slogans being chanted in the streets. I go to one city and I hear a flaming motorcycle in every garage. And I go to another city and I hear vengeance we can believe in. And you know what? they're all right. It is vengeance we can believe in. Because you know what's broken in this country is our criminal justice system. The innocent go to jail, the guilty go free, and our prisons are overcrowded. But I can do away with all of that. You see, I can sense the guilt or the innocence in people. There is no appeals process. There is no greater authority. All I have to do is travel through the country and imbue the justices of this great land with a small portion of my power. Just enough.
God, it's a dystopia.
Just enough that they can look into the souls of another and truly know their guilt or innocence. And should they prove to be guilty, their sentence will be carried out, effective immediately. And believe me when I say, the punishment will always fit the crime. Thank you.
It's terrifying.
Wow. Fascism.
Definitely thought you were going to say imbue the justices with justice, and I would have been okay with that. Thank you, Mr. Ghost Rider. Now we will move on to Mr. Milton. You know what? We're inside. I don't know if you need your sunglasses, but okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
My fellow Americans, as we all know, John Milton is all about being kind of fucking insane. You know, breaks out of hell, no reason really, kills a bunch of people, just kind of crazy. Wouldn't it be better if kind of everybody was like that? My campaign slogan is "Make America Cage Again."
I want to die.
And with that in mind, I'd like to introduce my vice president, whose name is Chris Johnson. He's Nicolas Cage's character from Next. And the reason he's going to be my vice president is because he can see 2 minutes into the future. So, you know, I think he'll be perfect for that. I'm actually assembling an entire cabinet as well. My Secretary of State, his name is H.I. McDonough of Racing Arizona, of course, because Arizona is a state.
A red state.
Secretary of Defense is going to be Yuri Orlov from Lord of War. Secretary of Homeland Security, Big Daddy, of course, of Kick-Ass fame. He should be able to kind of keep everything good on the home front. Secretary of Commerce is going to be Roy Waller, Cage's character from Matchstick Men. I think he's trustworthy. Secretary of the Treasury, obviously, Benjamin Gates. Treasury is the name of the movie. Our ambassador to other countries is going to be Joe from Bangkok Dangerous. I think Joe is a good enough name for that. And of course, we have Bangkok in the title of that movie. Again, we are making the executive branch of this office Cage again. Oh, I forgot to mention, Secretary of Transportation, naturally, Memphis Reigns from Gone in 60 Seconds. We are making America Cage again, ladies and gentlemen, and you can be Cage too. All you have to do is just let go of that little voice in the back of your head that tells you not to go completely bug-eyed batshit insane. That's all you have to do, okay? All the things that you think get you to hell, let me tell you something. They do. But it doesn't matter, because you can just fucking leave and come back and continue being insane. Everybody needs to go as fucking crazy as possible, and the crazier you go, the more Cage you will become. And once the entire country is composed of Cage, then America will be Cage again, will be strong again, will be great again, and again will be Cage again. Thank you.
Wow. I'm surprised no one cut in going, wrong, wrong, wrong.
No, because we're civilized.
I mean, we happen to be humans.
Even a cabinet composed entirely of Nicolas Cage has some decency about them.
Well,
also my scriptwriter is Charlie Kaufman.
Oh, very good.
Way.
thank you for your plans, candidates. I'm going to go consult the Earthtoral College. I'll be right back.
Fucking, we should abolish the Earthtoral College.
Yeah, seriously, what does that even do for us anymore?
Yeah, Sealand gets 3 votes. How is that fair? Miles, I think it's interesting that when asked to design our own ideal country, I went total authoritarian dystopia, and you went total anarchy.
Yeah, no,
I
think
know.
that makes
I was
sense.
not expecting for Kit and I to have sort of a more measured response than you two. I was like, oh, by comparison, mine sounds really nice. Unicorn.
Yeah, unicorns goring school children.
I mean, only because it's like if you're in their territory, what are you going to do?
Oh, God damn it. I forgot to say that my Secretary of Education was going to be Rayford Steele from Left Behind. I knew I was forgetting something.
When was Earth ever caged to begin with?
Oh, wow. That's a deep question.
That definitely has no corollaries with current political events.
Just leave this to the vampires. We've been around a long time. We got it.
I actually did have a question for all of you, and I wanted to know which of the Nicolas Cage movies did you think was the most sexist?
Oh, God, that's...
I know! I was thinking that. I was like, oh, that's like a many ways contest.
Okay,
It's a close call in my mind between Vampire's Kiss and Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay.
Because, like, man, like, okay, I think probably Sorcerer's Apprentice is the most sexist. Because, like, at least the woman in Vampire's Kiss is, like, sympathetic. And, like, it kind of points out the sort of control that Cage's character as, like, a white, wealthy male has over a lower-class Latina female.
yeah.
Whereas, like, the female characters in Sorcerer's Apprentice are just entirely plot points. Like, they have no agency, they have no personality,
I mean, I think Becky's a decent character, but she's not very fleshed out.
Yeah.
She's pretty...
And that they had Monica Bellucci, and she has, like, 3 lines. I was like, why the fuck did you get her then?
They had Alice Krieg, and she doesn't get to do anything. And you know what actually kind of pissed me off about that movie? Like, more than anything else, was that they brought in the most interesting thing I thought about the entire plot of that movie was when they brought in Abigail Williams, and she's gone in a second. I fucking hated it.
Because I love Abigail.
But I like the movie overall,
I know,
be
it's a
honest.
really enjoyable
like, for the most part. Is it bad that Drive Angry is, like, definitively the least sexist?
I disagree.
I disagree.
I
feel
actually
like
think
there was
Spirit
some-
of Vengeance is the least sexist.
Yeah, I'm going to say Spirit of Vengeance.
Does it have a female character who does something?
Yeah, the whole motivation of the movie, like, really comes from her. Like, the only reason Ghost Rider gets involved is because, like, she's trying so hard to protect her son, and, like, it's her that keeps her son alive for as long as he is. Like, I actually think, like, I agree with you, Miles. I actually think that
Piper in Drive Angry is...
No,
Yeah,
she is,
I
but
totally-
there was...
She is
Like,
awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Is that outweighed by the gratuitous female nudity?
Well, that's the question. It was really interesting. We talked about, this whole thing is inspired by the Flophouse, and I was listening to the Flophouse's episode on Drive Angry, and I thought they made a really good point, which is that Drive Angry is really going for, like, sleazy, camp, low-budget fun, but it, like, overshoots it.
Oh, it's so desperate. It
Yeah.
wants you to like it so hard. It's so insecure.
It's like asking, am I edgy yet?
Yeah.
Please tell me I'm edgy.
I did enjoy it, but also by the end of it,
Oh, I liked it a lot.
1000% was like, oh, the accountant and John Milton are fucking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Now they are, sure.
I know, and I was like, oh, this isn't about anything else. Oh, yeah, Amber Heard.
Yeah, and this isn't your normal. This isn't your normal sort of like seeing everything through a shipping lens.
No, this
like
was
that-
just. I mean, that is I do, but I can recognize whenever I'm willing it into being, and whenever it's truly.
I'm like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Drive Angry doesn't have sex elements, because it totally does. From the way literally every woman responds to the fucking baby to the whole like sex scene shootout, all that shit. Like it's
in the way every woman responds to Nicolas Cage, who
Yes.
I would argue, looks the most hideous in that movie more so than any other movie.
I have to say, I thought he actually looked kind of hot in Sorcerer's Apprentice, but maybe that's just because he didn't look like scary. He just
He had a
looked
certain
weird.
like ruggedness to him.
Yeah, like just an unwashed man.
Yeah.
the first Ghost Rider though. Just in terms, I mean, there's nothing for Eve Tor.
Eva Mendes? That was
Eva
horrible.
Mendes.
Oh yeah.
She has nothing.
That's
She has
true.
nothing
And
to
that
do.
relationship, man. Ugh.
Okay, first let me get this out of the way. Kit did not win.
You know what you're doing, damn it!
But Kit, you have won my heart. That was the funniest fucking thing I've heard in a long time.
I think she's won all of our hearts.
Kit absolutely shot for the moon on this one, which is literally the only strategy which could have worked.
Kit, you pulled a Liz, and I love you for it, alright?
That was some Hannah Montana shit.
That was awesome. With that said, I feel like... Oh, Jesus. Honestly, I pick John Milton.
What? Oh,
Yes!
wow. Okay.
Ugh.
Fuck yeah.
He sounds fucking terrifying. He sounds more scary than a man with a flaming head, and Miles convinced me of that.
I could see that.
Yep, well, that's what you need to win a cage match.
Hey, fear is a big thing, buddy.
But I will
It's a big
say,
deal.
Dan made some good arguments against the whole weapon thingy. That was very smart, Dan. But I don't know. Milton seems freaky. And not who I'd want to be my president.
I'm curious, who won the campaign, Liz?
I think Kit won.
Kit won the campaign. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I agree.
To the night.
She's obviously a very likely good third-party candidate in the future.
Gonna pick up lots of fringe votes.
Yeah.
Like help one of those
You know,
other guys win.
let your freak flag fly. That's your other motto. Good job, Kit.
All right. Well done, everyone.
Oh my
Another
God.
cage match come and gone.
This shit's ridiculous.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Smash Fiction. Next week will be League episode 13. And after that, our regularly scheduled fight will be Altair Ibn Lahad versus Oberyn Martell.
Smash Fiction is produced by Miles Schneiderman, with logo design by Colin Mulcairn.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod for our theme song, which is called Hitman. You can find his work at www.incompetech.com.
You can follow the Smash Fiction podcast on Twitter at SmashFicPodcast and search for us on Facebook and Tumblr.
Subscribe on iTunes, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Kit, that was so beautiful that I want to ask you to leave Dan and I'll leave Neil so I can be with you because that was so perfect.
Oh, I didn't think it was my Cage impression that would do it.
You're like, I've got lots of assets, but
You know what? I just admire commitment in any bit, and you committed like more than a human should.
When Kit and I realized that he wasn't a vampire, Kit just got like this look of delight in her
started
face.
cackling, and I was like, I'm gonna do this!
After an intense battle replete with yelling...
you have to introduce the lightning
Damn
round.
it! Oh, yeah. Well, wait. I am, basically.
Okay, alright. Well, I mean, are you going to say the words, it's the lightning round?
Lightning round.